Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys small PSA returns. Normally I do these for patrons first, but since it was so small I didn't, and most of it's going to my personal collection anyways. And then I'm also going to show you guys some stuff that I bought, and then we're going to open up a few packs here at the end. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show you guys that I bought was this. So one of my viewers reached out and he's like, hey man, I have one of those, I'd love to sell it to you. And we agreed on a price of $50, and I got it in. I was a little worried because he had said that he had sent an envelope, but for the most part, I think it's actually in really nice shape. Did have two tiny white dots, which from what I can tell in this card, it's pretty poorly cut. Not this one in particular, but like all of these, like in general, the ones that I have, the edges are a little bit more rough. But this is the best condition one that I've seen so far, so I'm happy to pay that $50. And hopefully I can get it graded in time, and maybe we'll add this one to my PSA set. Alright, next up. Have this right here, right? Have a Charizard Squirtle Japanese Meiji promo. Of course, I want a 9 or a 10. This one was pretty cheap comparatively, so I went ahead and picked it up at the 8 price. And it looks like the guy sent some free stuff with it. Let's see what he sent there. Oh no, it got stuck. Alright, so we have a Japanese Nidoran PT2. And okay, so let's just go turn the other direction. Then we have a Drowsy from base set. We have a Nidorino and a Horsey. That's from Fossil. Very cool. I always like the free cards. I think it's a nice touch if you're a seller. I used to do it all the time myself until it just kind of got overwhelming. But as always, I think it's a great practice, so thank you for that. Next up, I have a Prismatic God Box Blue Eyes White Dragon. Look at that. Wait. Got like all these different little Egyptian symbols and stuff. I've been going through the Yu-Gi-Oh series ever since I got on this little Blue Eyes kick. I haven't bought many of them lately, of the Blue Eyes, so I don't think I have too many on the way in. But I've been watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. I think I'm in the part right now where Yugi has a God card, Kaiba has one, and then so does Merrick. So I haven't made it quite through there yet. I remember seeing them back in the day. I think eventually they all get unlocked and they come back to life or something crazy like that. Next up we have a Slate Warrior, one of my favorite cards. I used to love playing this card. Well, the reason I like this card is because I used to play it as much as I could in my deck that was online. Like I had a little Game Boy Advance game. I think it was the World Championships 2004. And Slate Warrior was always a really cool card because it had 1900 attack, which was the max that you had for the 4-star monster for the longest time, which means you can summon it straight to the field. But it also had a good flip effect, so like if you had to put it face down defense position, when it was attacked and was flipped over, you would take 500 attack off of the defending Pokemon's, or not Pokemon, the defending monster's attack. Oh, and defense, I mean, that helps out. So that was really rare because there was Gemini Elf, Luster Soldier, or Luster Dragon, Vorse Raider, a few other 1900 attack Yu-Gi-Oh monsters that were out there. But that was the only one that had a good effect at the time. Alright, next up we have a consignment. So these were sent in. You have some Skyridge PSA 10 hollows. I'd keep an eye on these because a lot of the hollows from Skyridge, they have a tendency to go for a lower price, just because they're easier to grade, but they're still really scarce. So if you're looking to pick up some of these in Gem Mint 10 condition, then this might be your chance. Piloswine, nice little swirl right there. We've got the Vileplume, this is from Aquapolis, his swirl is right there. Then we have Tentacruel from Aquapolis as well. Lots of hollow going on. And then we're going to finish off with a Crystal Guardians Charizard, the Delta species. We'd talked about this when we were going through the packs on Saturday? Yeah, I think it was Saturday. Alright, then I'm going to show you guys the cards I just got back from PSA. I sent these in on the express level. Alright, so we're going to start off with this. I opened up 2 sealed Southern Island collection boxes to pull these out. And I sent them in. Pulled an 8 and a 9. Well, at least I know they're pretty strong. I think I actually opened up 3 of them, and I sent in the 2 best. And then with the Togepis, I did the same thing because I still need these in a PSA 10. Both of them pulled a 9. I still had 3 of the staff Charizards from the pre-release packs for Vivid Voltage. 2 got a 9, one of them got a 10. I think I went like 5 for 5 for my first staff Charizards. Next up, something pretty cool. I was really hoping to get a 10. I sent in 4 of the Danon shiny tip Charizards, and none of them got the 10. I got 1 7 and 3 9s. All these were super crispy, packed fresh. You can see, like, really nice. I don't know if they're possible regrades or not. Maybe a tiny white dot right there. But I've actually got both versions. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but this is more like a silver version, I guess you could say. This is more like a rainbow foil. This one's like got a darker tint to it. This got the lighter tint to it. This is more like purple, kind of like a, I don't know if you can see it in the light. See it right there. And then this is more reddish. And you can kind of make it out a little bit better with that glare on it. I don't think many people know there's 2 different versions, but there are. They're not going to be labeled different versions unless I could prove it to PSA somehow. However, you know, it's still pretty tough to see in person, so I get it. I understand why. Next up, we have that Polytoad. I don't know if you guys remember, but I opened up a Neo Discovery Heavy First Edition pack accidentally, and then ended up being mine. So I sent in this Polytoad because I still need this in a PSA 10. I thought I had mentioned it being really nice shape, thinking that it had a shot at a 10, but man, it pulled the 8. I was pretty disappointed with that. I mean, you can even see, I mean, it's in really nice shape. That's actually part of the case, that little thing that you're seeing. You can see it move. So, I mean, there's nothing there on the back. I'm sure it has to be print lines in the hollow. I did a little test just to see if anything would change with a card like this. All 3 of these were PSA 10s, and I busted them out of the case. Not PSA 10s, PSA 9s. And I busted them out of the case. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pay at the time it was going to be $600. They lowered it to $450. You know, if I got 110 out of this, I mean, it'd be a huge hit. But I actually sent them in, and they downgraded. Got an 8, a 9, and an 8. So these 2 used to be PSA 9s. One of these was, I don't know which one it was, one of the ones that I pulled straight out of a pack. And I thought I had a decent shot at being a 10 too. So that should tell you, like, most of the time now when I open your guys' hollows up, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, it's probably going to, you know, might get an 8, 9, and almost never give it a shot at 10. But a few of these, 2 in this submission, I thought had a shot at 10, if I remember correctly, and neither one of them got it. Alright, so next up we have the Charizard. This is TV Topps Chrome. I thought this was in better shape than it was, but I believe there was, yeah, right there. See a little nick in the top right corner? It's hard to see. I think that's what brought it down. And then we have some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. What I did was I went back through my singles. I had most every card in raw condition. Except for LOB, because I've already graded all those, but all the way up through at least Legacy of Darkness. And I pulled up the ones that I thought might be worth it if I graded them, you know, if they got the hit, because a lot of these cards in PSA 8 and 9 condition, they're like $100, $200, including probably some of these. But got Injection Fairy Lily on that with the 8, got Thousand Dragon, hit the 9. Thousand Dragon's one of my favorite. Time Wizard, I'm not sure what happened there. But it pulled the 7. So I thought these were all pretty nice shape. It's so hard to tell. See my fingers smudging up the back. But it did get a few good hits. Got a 9 on the Gate Guardian. Pulled a 10 on the Summon Skull. Already had this one in a 10 in my personal collection already. Still, that was a pretty nice hit. I was definitely glad to get that. Got a 9 on the Black Skull Dragon. Really cool. And then finally, the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon also got a 10 on that one. So I hit 2 10s out of like, what, 8 cards or something. So you're not going to do that with WotC Hollows. You know, on the Pokemon side, it was 2 out of 7, so that wasn't too bad. Both of those ended up getting upcharged too, even though I submitted them on the Express level. Now we're going to move on to the pack openings, and I want to apologize to the people who've been waiting the longest on the pack openings. You really haven't waited 2 business days yet. I normally say 1 or 2 business days, but usually if I have somebody who buys packs on Friday, I'll have them opened up before Monday. And I almost didn't get to it today because my mom had surgery this morning. She had hip surgery, and I had to take her up there and had to kind of shuttle back and forth, but she's doing fine, and hopefully she'll be out by tomorrow. All right, so we have Oliver J. He bought a heavy fossil booster pack. I believe he bought this one over the weekend. Let's see what he gets. I might pause it after this because I believe someone had asked me to open up the pack from just the top or just the bottom, and it was probably one of these two people that are next. So I'm going to check just to make sure. All right, Slowpoke, Shelter, Zubat, Energy Search, Kabuto. There's Krabby, Mr. Fuji, nice artwork for a trainer, Golbat, and Seadra. Got a Tentacool. Oh, and a Ditto. We've seen several Dittos as well. It's kind of weird how like they've all been grouped together. I wonder if we're going to start seeing that with cards like Articuno and Gengar. All right, so the holo looks really nice. Don't see any silvering around the edges. Backside centering is off just a little bit more than the front, but the top edges look great. And so do the bottom edges. So condition is pretty much optimal. The centering is a little bit off. Front, I don't think it detracts from it that much. The back, you can definitely tell, it's shifted to the left a little bit. PSA used to be less strict on the centering on the back, but they've gotten very strict with it. Now if you have... Hey look, I have a phone call. So I'm going to pause it right there, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Pack number 2 is going to be with Luke. However, I did not put up Oliver's, so let me make sure I do that. Tried not to touch the cards just in case. Put these in here. Put that in here. I did find the person that wanted me to open up the packs from just the top and push the cards through, kind of like what we used to do when I cut the tops with the scissors. Because he wants to display them. That's not the next guy though. Alright, so next up we have Luke D. He also bought one heavy fossil booster pack. Let's see what he gets. At first I thought that phone call was going to be a spam call. I'm like, man, I'm just wasting my time. But it ended up being a phone call about my mom's bank or something. Because she had my address down, my email, like I manage all that stuff for her. They're like, we need to get different information. I'm like, no, she lives with me. My name's on her account. Help her manage it. Shelter, Zubat, Energy Search, Kabuto, another Krabby, and Magneton. Well, this is the first Magneton we've seen. It's not like it's definitely not one of the better ones to pull. But again, it's kind of like Muck. You can see. You should be able to see where usually the condition's pretty good on Magneton. Man, how many Magnetons have we pulled? We haven't pulled too many of these. I can't remember one. And I think it was less popular back in the day because you could get a Magneton in base set. I mean, it's also just 3 Magnemites kind of stuck together. The border looks good on this one. Let's check out the back. Very similar looking to the Ditto. Condition is really nice. Just a little bit off-centered on the backside. Trying to see if I see any little ink dots or something like that missing around, but honestly the card looks really clean. So you got yourself a Magneton. I didn't put a card saver up here, so I'm going to just set that off to the side for now. Alright, next up we have Soren H, and he is a Charizard level member, so he saved $25 on each one of these packs. He bought one Jungle Unweighed and then one Heavy Fossil. And then he's the one who wanted me to open it up from like the top crimp and then kind of push the cards through. So hopefully these packs cooperate. Start with the Heavy Fossil. Normally I would save the Heavy for last and do the Unweighed first, but since we've done so many of the Heavy Fossils lately, I'm going to do this one first. There we go. Nice and easy. Now it doesn't always work out like that. So that should be able to be displayed fairly well. We've got a Horsey, Recycle, Mysterious Fossil, pulled the Graveler, Weezing, and Slowbro. Now we have Ammonite, Tentacool, Ekans, Zubat, And a Hypno. That's got to be like the third or fourth Hypno. Man, we've pulled a lot of these. About to be drained out by now, I would think. Now this one does have some silvering. I don't know if you guys can see it. Across the top. Across the right side as well. Let's look at the back side. Same kind of centering, a little bit off to the left side. Corner's okay. I do think I see a little white dot right there. But overall, not too bad right there. Alright, now we have a Jungle Unlimited. Gotta make sure that I push these out the top. So every now and then I get somebody who, not from my packs, but they'll email me like, hey man, I just bought these packs from somebody. You can see right there as careful I was. I mean, it's pretty obvious if somebody went to glue that back, you know, there'd be an issue. They're like, you can see a split in the top of the pack. So let me show you, like down here at the bottom, you can actually see if it'll zoom correctly. Well, right here, at the tip of the pack, it's actually split through here, which it should actually be split right there, because if you look, the crimp doesn't go all the way to the top. So where it's not crimped, that will actually split apart. And it's the same thing on the top side. Like people will see a little gap. If I can get it to zoom, see a little gap. And sometimes they'll get worried about that, like it's been resealed. But just check where the crimp is. If the crimp doesn't go all the way to the top, then there actually should be some flexibility in you being able to pull apart those, basically the front and the back side of the pack. Alright, so make sure this is all the way to the edge. Okay, here we go. Now this is an unweighed pack, so it could have a hollow, it may not. Got the Eevee, very nice. Venonat, Tauros. Can we get a Butterfree? Close. Got the Executor, and then Nidorina. Cubone, Oddish, Mankey, Pokeball, and nice. You got the Clefable. So you did pull a hollow. For those of you who don't know, this is a 1 in 3 shot. For the old packs anyways, and you can only really get hollows. You can't get like these full arts or GXs or nothing crazy like that. Might pull something weird like a square cut or a miscut, but those are still really rare. This Clefable is in very nice shape. Picking up a hint of a print line over here, but it's very faint, and I don't see any chipping, which is rare on Jungle. Backside corners look pretty good. Wow, really nice condition Clefable. I'd say that was the best pull of, yeah, what was before that? Magneton, and then before that was a Ditto. Yeah, I say this beats out the Ditto. So great pull there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll try to have another one out very soon. Thanks.